Hey everyone, welcome back to the latest podcast. On today's podcast, a little bit about the lambing's finished, a little bit about social media. We dipped our sheep recently, the videos are up on YouTube. Dorset shows, sheep for the shows, drawn sheep with a trailer compared to our transit. And if I get a chance, then there's a guy I work with, and we were having a chat about high end football and kind of something that he was saying to me how it relates to farming. So I think hopefully we can get to that. So lambing is finished up, so I'll start with lambing finishing up. I give our lambing a 7.5 out of 10. Happy enough with it, but again, could be better. I think what I knock it down on why I give it a knockdown is very little things. The triplet jowled lamb first, she died, and she was rearing her 3 lambs, and she got the calcium magnesium. She was the only owl to get the calcium magnesium, and we moved her and the hogget jaws and to another field, and the next night she was gone, and I was really disappointed. It's not the fact that she wasn't a special yow, she wasn't priceless or worth €1,000. She was the last yow that I had got from that I bought in the coolies. She was the start of our breeding of horn sheep and mules. She was a yow I think could have had 2, if not 3 sets of triplets in her lifetime. And that wasn't the way I wanted to see her go. And that kind of pissed me off, be the word to say. So that's why I'd knock it down on. Then we had a couple of yows and had little lambs. Look, little dots of lads. Now, some of them survived, some didn't. And again, them are little things that kind of shouldn't happen. Particularly on the last yow at lamb, the lamb she had was tiny. And she was due to lamb, but the last one she had was tiny. So that is something that, again, I'd knock it down for. There was a couple of yows aborted. It was about 4 or 5, maybe a few more. And that in itself, there could be 1,000 reasons why that happened, but still, it's not nice. It dragged out. There was a huge burst for the first few weeks when they were due to lamb, and then the last few just seemed to take an eternity to lamb. And that's okay, but when you're back working and you're going through the fields, it drags you out. You get tired, fatigued, and all that malarkey, and you just want it to end. And I am glad it's over this year. So it's one of the few years I'm glad it's over, but I'm happy how it went. And I'd look at, if you said to me in the morning, we go again, another batch of sheep, yeah, no problem, go again. But I am glad it's over. Very lucky with the weather. The weather was too good. Probably won't get that next year, so can't foresee that. But look, it is what it is. And them little things I'd mark it down from maybe an 8.5 to a 7.5, and them are normal little things. We had no major problems. Quite happy with how the sheep are doing. The lambs are doing quite well. A few lambs that are not as good as others, but at the moment what we have done is we've dipped all the stock on the farm, everything, and there's a few reasons for it. 1, it's good hygiene. 2, Elaine was off school and was there to help, so you're not going to knock down good help. 3, Swallenberg last summer was about, I have yows going to the mountain this year. Now, there will be effect of pour on them, but I think the first yow or 2 of mine that lambs had the Swallenberg disease. I didn't get them tested or anything, but I'm just fairly sure they had. So from them sort of things, I kind of wanted to get the flock hygiene health done early. Kind of want to get them things on top of, because I have a few lame yows I have to dress. I have to start foot batting sheep now when I get them back moved. And plus, where we were moving to, we're grazing off all them fields hard, and then we're going to take the sheep out of it, so the sheep will have grass where they are going to be for shearing time, and that's the idea, is that that ground then will be kept up then for the summer for the hoggets and bits and pieces like that. So it's also to do with stock rotation and a bit of peace of mind as well, like, because the lads, I can ring the lads for the shearing and they might say to me, oh, we can't get to this one. Well, at least now I know the owls have a decent bit of protection, and also the owls they don't have, there's no wool on their arses because their bellies were sure. So at least I'm not under pressure for shearing, which is a good thing. But saying that, we will be starting to shear the rams and event the owls fairly shortly, because that's to get them ready for the shows. And then the other one is, if the Dorset Joe's going to the mountain, I want to dip them early, because I didn't want to leave it till too near the time, because then you'd put rams off tippings, because we use the vector pour on when they're going to the mountain, with the flies and that. But then the thing is, now with the Dorsets, we have to look up dates for when the teasers are going out, when we're going to be weaning. So it's going to come very quickly on me that this is going to happen, because I have sort of roughly picked out when I'm going to lamb, and it's one of those things, you just have to keep moving along and keep getting the jobs done. But I know I'm going to be lambing them before Christmas. I'll have to wean them a month before they go to the teasers, and that's then 6 weeks before the ram. So we will see how it goes. I have a field kept up for them for after I wean them, but it's a run out. It's a bog field, but it'll be fresh grass for them, and that when I wean them. So I'm probably going to be caught between a couple of lambs being near ready for the factory and not ready for the factory. So I'll imagine what I'll do is I'll just wean them fairly soon and get them sorted. Also, blue tongue is going around in, I think, in England and Europe now. Hasn't reached Ireland, but this is one of the reasons behind the dipping, because I looked up some of the symptoms to the blue tongue and what you can do, and it's caused by bites by midgets. It's April to November. There's a viral disease. Now, the vaccine's available in England, but in limited numbers. I saw on Instagram, I saw the Dale farmer I was watching it, and as limited, so he was doing the cattle and certain sheep. But the mortality rate from it it's wipeout. So for us, I don't want to put us in that situation just for the sake of 2 days of work. And this was something that I looked into, a little bit looking into, to see would it help. It definitely won't do any harm. So again, we will dip again later on the year. Look, and as I say, I know there's no blue tongue in Ireland, but look, you never know. Sure, like, the weather's been so good, so fine. There is going to be midgets around, so particularly in our area. So it's something that we just want to avoid happening. So the next thing then is going to get into is a little bit about social media, and where do you start and where do you finish? Like, there's positives and negatives to it, and I think for sheep farmers there's an awful lot of positives, because you meet great contacts. You gain knowledge from seeing what people put up in their posts. Now, granted, everyone will put up certain things, and you probably put the best of it, and some people put up the worst of it. But you'll see little things that you can take from that person that can help you, and you see something from that person that will help you. And there's a great education, a great learning from it, and it's a great way of building a community. And it's like the podcast here. Like, I'm talking about my experiences of what I see. And the whole point of it is to get a conversation started to the person who's listening, and they go, well, you know something? He's right, he's wrong, he's talking crap, or maybe there's something to what he's saying. But it's about knowledge transfer, and that's the thing with social media. It does help. Now, one of the reasons why I brought it in is because one of the negatives I saw is the fake accounts, misinterpretation of accounts, the hacking of accounts. But what brought up, there was a girl I followed on Instagram, and I seen her account on TikTok, and Her Frank, her father's in a wheelchair, and I come up that her father was dead, and she's trying to make a living. And it was a complete fake account set up. And I just took a screenshot, sent the picture to her, and she's quite a big account on Instagram, and on YouTube, and I just thought to myself, that's a fierce bad thing to do to somebody. And it brought me back to my own daughter, Elaine. Like, I've entered into this world of social media, but as it means, though, at least by me being here with her, that for now that can't happen to her. But like, that's an awful thing to do to somebody on social media. Like, I suppose years ago you had people running around with telling tall tales, and you had WhatsApp screenshots and what you call memes and all that. And now it's gone to hacking accounts and things like that. And I just think it's gone a step too far. I think the like of Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and all that, they should clamp down on it, because it's no sense to it. Like, and it's hard on the people that are doing it. But then the one guy got back to me, and he said to me about the social media, and it's kind of a good thing and a bad thing. A 10-minute cup of tea ends up being a 30-minute cup of tea. It's time consuming. It's addictive to it. Like, we're all scrolling on our phones. But I suppose that's the way the next generation is going to be, the way it's going. But it is a valid point, because I'd see myself sometimes. I'd be in work, and you'd be doing stuff, and you'd be flicking, and it's a bad habit to get into. So, and then I see myself at home now, and after a tea, sometimes I start flicking. So I'm going to start now very, very soon. Not today, but I'm going to start very, very soon. I'm going to start putting my phone away a bit more on with you, man, because I found myself that I'm flicking too much. So I want to put it away. And it's not that I'm flicking so much to watch stuff. I'll be getting notifications about this, notification that, and I'm checking them. I really look, there are things that could wait for 10 minutes. So just for myself and Elaine, just want to try and curtail it a little bit. But hopefully I'll be able to do it. So basically what's coming up now in the next few weeks on the farm, and a few bits. So we're going to be shearing, turf cutting, cutting sticks, fencing, sorting sheep for the shows. Going to visit a show or two beforehand, and just actually go and just take in the experience. And we're going to bring them into the podcast. So Elaine's going to be joining me on a podcast fairly soon. So I always find, and I don't know what other people find, is that I always find that the month after lambing can be quite tough as lambing, in the sense that you're working to get jobs done, keep on top of things, and get ahead of yourself. And like, I have a pen that I know I have to fix up for the shearing. So to have that ready for shearing, I know there's days of work in it. And there's a whole pile of sticks outside of it that needs to be cut up as well. So I have to take it all down and just redo it. And I'm not looking forward to it. But it is a job that has to be done. And it's the pen, I put the pen up nearly 10 years ago now. And I used to go over before work. I used to go over at 5 o'clock in the morning and start fixing up the pen. I had to fix up for the shear. And what happened was, there was a race, and I put a dividing gate in the race, and it worked perfect. Oh, brilliant. Only downfall was you had to stoop down to underneath. I made them absolute stand where I put the boards, and it didn't work really. To be honest, it just didn't work properly the way I had envisaged it working. But I'm going to have to change it, because the yowes, struggling to get the yowes down the race into the pen, and wrecking my head. So I'm going to have to take it down, change it, and come up with another plan. and that's so. We will see. Look at it. It could take me a week to do it, given other jobs that it has to do, but it'll have to be done before the shearing because I know the lads will be shearing there, so it'll have to be done. The other thing I want to talk about was a week or two ago when I was drawing the sheep. We always draw with Ford Transit. Now I know a lot of people always draw with Jeep and trailer, but with Ford Transit, we've been using it for years, and I like it. Don't like the Jeep and trailer. I'll be honest, I don't like the Jeep and trailer, and the truck wouldn't start. So I just said to myself, "What can I do?" So gave David a shout, and David said, "Walk away with the trailer." So I told him, "I says I'll be keeping it for a while, so I won't be giving it back to you for a bit." So I said to him, I says, "I'm going to use it anyway." So from where I was on the sheep to, I actually got on really well with it, and I was better at driving it. I had a stock box off him before, and I was much better with the big trailer than I was a stock box. Got harsher with the stock box, where the big trailer flew for whatever reason. I suppose the advantages of it would be that you were drawing less loads because you weren't bringing 3 times the amount of sheep, but definitely way over two. Um, and it was quite handy that way. Now, how would you describe it? Like it was very handy in the sense that when you got the sheep up into it, they were perfect. It was not a hobble on it. When you got them into the lower deck, they were perfect on them. But getting them into the lower deck was really hard. They'd be back out in a second. But what did help me was when I get them into it and I'd have the gates shut, the lambs all come to the back. So I was able to put the lambs up on the top deck. So I didn't have that much yaws on the top deck. I just kept lifting up the lambs. Lambs kept coming back, lifting up the lambs. And I got a bit of hardship on the first load not first two load, because when I had the gates beside it, I hadn't the gates in properly, and it comes back to the pen, the race not being right. And next thing, lamp jump out. Next thing, lamp jump out through these gates. So eventually I got on top of it, and eventually I got it all fixed up. But it was not a good learning, good learning be the wrong word. It was a good thing to happen that I got hardship with the first two, because as I backed in easier and got better at it, it got easier. But I wouldn't change it for the truck. But definitely, if I think if a trailer came up that I could buy to have for drawing the big loads when you're going like that, it is something I could do. And the downside of it was when you had the dogs with you had 2 dogs in the tractor. And I know you might say, well, you could leave Belle at home, but Belle goes everywhere I go, like, so very hard to leave Belle at home. And it was good. So I'd say to anyone that if you're used to Jeep and trailer or tractor and trailer and stuff, there's always another way of doing it at this kind of point. There's another way of doing something. Maybe it might help you and it might quicken things up to not be like me going, oh, no, no, no. Just to see how it goes. Give it a go and see how it goes, because David has offered me the trailer for years and I never took it. And I should have took it before now, because it was good, like, and it was nice. It was nice now being better at the ground out driving with it, but I was better in it than I thought I would have been. But just I wasn't confident in it, and I suppose that just comes with a lack of use and a bit of age thing too. So as I say, if anyone was thinking maybe will I, won't I, just give it a go. Show us the worst can happen, like. So the last thing I want to get into this evening is I had a chat with a guy that I work with. Now he from a different background to me. He'd have different views on football and sport and things, but he was talking about high end football and he was talking about life and things like that. And something that he said to me that I think can resonate with us farmers, that comes quite true. So he was on the high end footballers now are being asked to work faster, run faster, train harder, play the game faster, more intense, do everything more intense, more intense, more intense. A little bit like farmers. We're asked to keep the paperwork going, more paperwork going. Get into the schemes, do courses, more paperwork. Same stock. Oh, you've can get into this scheme if you higher stocking rate, you get into that scheme if it's lower stocking rate. We go to work, we come home, there's hay, there's silage, then there's fixing sheep, getting sheep for sales, then there's winter, fencing, then there's lambing, and back again around. And the footballers only do the high end sport for maybe what, 10 years? But we start farming at 15, 16. Kids is different, but probably 15, 16, you'd be kind of out haul somewhere at it. That's till you're 65, 70. But we're putting our bodies through what they are doing for 10 years. And what he was saying to me was, he just thinks that everyone's body clock is like a machine, that you have a clock, and once you hit the dial on the clock, that's when it's over. And because he was using in relation to his example, she was an oldish woman, she lived to a big age, she had a good diet, she had no fitness in the sense that she wasn't out running, but she was did look after herself, did exercise, but not high intense exercise. And I suppose it's something that I would say is that maybe us as farmers, that we need to at times take a step back, chill, and let the body relax. Because like after the lambing there for a week, I stopped getting up early, and I only got up early the mornings I was going to work. I done a few jobs. I finished up early in the evening, and I just the body has to relax, because I was just so shattered. The first morning that I lay in, that I had a good long sleep, I couldn't walk the next day for about 3 hours. I had a pain in the bottom of my back. The next day wasn't as bad, and then the third morning was worse again. And it was just purely from non-stop going and your body not getting to rest. And I think like that's the thing with us and footballers, and like that's how we can relate. If you're like, I know a lot of people watch the Intercounty GA and watch the soccer and different sports, but you have to think back to us as farmers. We're doing just as much as what they are, and we need to look after ourselves. And like, if you take a young man or young girl or woman playing football, just for argument's sake, take someone playing junior A or intermediate football. They're training twice a week, match the weekend. So if that person's farm, right, that means after sheep, Sunday for a few hours, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, training Tuesday, Thursday, match Saturday evening. That means every evening there's something, and maybe a day of work as well. So that's where I'd say, and if you take the person who just has the 9 to 5 job, no farming, a few points Sunday evening, rest, maybe go for a recovery session on the Monday, training Tuesday, finish work Wednesday, go home, watch a bit of TV, train Thursday, chill out Friday, have a lie in Sunday morning, you don't have to get up, race off somewhere. So it is something that we do need to look at, keeping things going, keep the work going, but make sure that we look after ourselves, our own body as well. Because with Yvain plays football, boxing, and rugby, and over the winter there since Christmas, all three has been on. But there's been nights we said, right, Yvain, you're not going to football tonight, or you're not going to rugby tonight, or you're not going to boxing tonight, because she has to have a rest, because she's out farming as well. And it's just let her rest. Because you want kids to play different sports and enjoy themselves and see how things are going. But it's important that they recover and rest as well. Like, so that's just a few things I was thinking today and having a chat about. My first interview is coming up very soon on the podcast. I'm looking forward to it. It'll be challenging, because it's easier to sit here and chat to yourself rather than you have to ask questions that you're not used to. So it will be a little bit different. So that's it for today, folks. Thank you very much for listening. I hope you are checking out the YouTube videos and checking out how things are going, because it's we're putting a bit of work into them now. It's they're a lot trickier done than, well, I knew they were going to be tricky, but they're trickier done than what I envisaged. So we're hopefully each week we're getting better at it, and it's great that Elaine is helping me with it, because being honest about it, really no point in me doing it unless she's going to help, because it's just better when you've someone holding the camera or vice versa, like, you know. So that's it. Thank you all for listening, and chat to you soon.